Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to Learnifier Live. This is an event exclusively for you as a Learnifier customer. My name is Rebecca Kannefelt, and I'm the Digital Marketing Manager here. And I just want to let you know that you will be getting this recording as well as the slides afterwards. The purpose of Learnifier Live is that you can get updated on all the latest news, as well as getting a glimpse into what's coming up ahead. So now let's just have a quick look at the agenda before I hand over to my colleagues. We're going to start with listening to our CEO and co-founder, Mattias Borg, who will be talking about Learnifier today and how we develop our product. After that, we're going to be listening to our other founder and CTO, Jerker Klang, talking us through the latest releases. Then it's time for us to dive deeper into 4 of these. Erika will be talking about self-registration pages. Magnus will be talking about assignments. Niklas will be talking about post on wall. And Boris will be talking about something called completion. After that, Mattias is going to summarize what's coming up ahead for us. And this webinar is 45 minutes long. So without further ado, I now hand over to Mattias from his home studio in Vasastan, Stockholm.
Thank you, Rebecca. So good morning, everyone. Great to see you. And I want to start sharing this great success with one of our customers just passing 1 million course registrations this past month. Something that they are extremely proud of, and so are we, hoping to be able to share more information on that. Obviously, numbers is not everything. Quality has a lot to do with it as well, but with this number, it's obvious that they have reached a lot of people and helped them share knowledge in a fun and effective way. So very proud to be able to share that number, and an exciting time to break that number for them and for us. So before diving in what's next, I want to talk a bit about this event. Some of you might already know this, but I want to give those ones that are new a bit of an update on how we work with product development. And we work in what we call pulses. So we have 4 pulses each year. Obviously one, then if you do the math, each one is about a quarter long. Today we're hosting the Learnifier Live event on September 2nd. We had our last event on May 19th. And the next one is going to be planned. It's not a set date yet, but it's planned for late November. So what does this mean? Well, it means that each quarter you can come to this session and get a brief summary of what we've been working on and what we will be working on in the upcoming Pulse. This means that we also, during the Pulse, we release updates almost daily, bug fixes, minor improvements, but major things or larger projects that we've been working on is released during this event. And that is to make it easier for you to stay on top on what's happening, but also to make it, to be honest, easier to us to communicate better with you on what is coming and have materials ready, translations ready, etc. So you will continue to see update during the pulses, but the major releases will be done in relationship to these Learnifier Live events. Also, I briefly want to mention that this event today is a 45-minute session, hopefully high-paced, give you a lot of value. Every other one, the one we did in May, also had a longer session with breakout rooms where you had a chance to work together and help each other out. The plan is to do that. The one in the one in November will also be a longer session. The one in February will then be a shorter one. So we'll do short one, long one, and we'll test that out and obviously give us feedback if you think that is a good way, because we've heard that you appreciate also talking with each other as Learnifier users. So also I want to give you a bit of a highlight of what we've been working with this year already. We did a major release with releasing what is called the Team View, bringing in really a new role in the Learnifier platform for the manager or the team manager to get a better perspective on what's happening in their team. That was released earlier this year, and we've seen a lot of usage of that already, so that is very exciting. We released the image editor, making it easier for you to work with images. We also had the Unsplash integration, being able to select images from that big image library, making it easier for you to create good course experiences. We added search for learners to make it easier for them to find content and maybe what they've learned or what they want to learn. We did a number of updates based on the Schrems 2 ruling that came last year. In terms of GDPR compliance, we stopped using a number of US suppliers shipping data to the US. So that was stopped during both end of last year, but start of this year. It's not possible. We've had customers that had challenges with them wanting to use their own email servers to send out emails from Learnifier. That also became possible during this year. We've added notification support, so you can now get native notifications on the mobile app. For example, when you have a chat message or there's some sort of an update. You can also now use single sign-on in the mobile apps, and this is true for both the iOS app and the Android apps. You can also, for some of you that work with what we call multiple portals, it's now possible to copy courses between portals. That was also something that was added. And the final one I wanted to cover was that we added Zapier support. So Zapier is an integration functionality to integrate different applications. So I know, for example, now we've been working with a customer to do an integration with a web shop through Zapier, which is looking really promising. So those are some of the things that we've been working on during 2021. And I do this just to give those ones, for those ones that are new, kind of an update, but also those, what we've seen is that sometimes we release new updates, but obviously communication is always a challenging thing. So also trying to cover what's been happening in the last few months to give you an update. So with that said, I guess all of you, or at least most of you, are more interested in what's coming in this pulse. So I will hand it over to Jerker, who will take the lead on talking a bit about what's new here. So over to you, Jerker.
Thank you, Matthias. Good morning, everyone. I will just briefly mention some new features that has been introduced in this pulse. And then, as Rebecca mentioned earlier, we will dig deeper into a few of those features. So first, we have done a few improvements to the automated communication feature. We have added 2 new type of audiences. First, for those who don't know what automated communication is, that's a tool inside Learnifier that allows you to send communications in the form of emails or text messages when something happens for a Learnifier in a course. We have previously had the ability to send an automated communication to a participant or to the project team or the trainers in that project. However, we have now added 2 more. So you can now also send communications to the team manager, and this is connected back to the team view function that we launched earlier this year. So if you have an automated communication that will be sent out when a participant has completed the first activity, for example. If you select team manager as an audience, the system will look up all managers for that learner and send the communication to them, which is pretty cool. And another feature as well, which I know also has been highly requested by some people, and that's the ability to send an automated communication to anyone with an email address. So you are no longer restricted to sending automated communications to people inside Learnifier. So now you can select the email recipients option and send an automated communication to any email address, which opens up a lot of exciting automated communications. So I hope you enjoy that, and you're obviously free to contact us for more information with this feature and any feature. Besides this, we have also now Arabic available as a language in Learnifier. We will already today have over translations for over 20 languages on the learner experience, but we have now added Arabic as well. Arabic is a major language in the world, and it is a bit tricky compared to most other languages, as almost every language in the world is written from the left to the right side. Arabic differs here and writes from the right to the left side. And this also affects the interface overall, because for a native Arabic reading person, having a left-centric interface feels wrong. So we have had to make adjustments to sort of show the interface in a right to left way as well. So we will hope this will make any learnings that Arabic speaking people will do on Learnifier a smooth ride. And now for our administrators, this has also been a highly requested feature, and I am happy to announce that you can now arrange projects in the administrative interface into folders. And it works like you would expect. You can create folders inside folders, and you move projects and folders back and forth. Unfortunately, due to some quality assurance issues that we found just before this live event, this feature has not yet been enabled for everyone, because we found a few issues that will impact you negatively. So not all of you have had this feature enabled yet, but we're working on enabling it for everyone as soon as possible. Most of you that are running the course catalog as well will have this feature enabled right now. And you who don't will have to hold out for a little bit longer, but it's gonna be here very soon. Also, this is not a very exciting picture, but as you might know, we have the ability to collect information from users when they log in. So they have to provide some base information that you want to know about them. And we now have the ability to allow them to select a choice for a question or an information. So instead of earlier, you can only let the user to write anything to a question. So favorite color, they could write anything they want. Now we just let them have 2 choices in this example. But we now have the ability to collect information based on a choice. And also, we are happy to allow some new features for the administrators and the learners, but the computers want some new features as well. So we have done some API updates as well. And now we have added a whole bunch of new API calls related to certificates. So you can now list, update, and delete issued awards. Awards or certificates, that's 2 terms that we are using back and forth. So I'm sorry for mixing those up, but you can list, update, delete issued certificates. And we also have a webhook available that notifies an external system the moment someone gets issued a certificate. And as always, you can find the API documentation on the URL below. And with that being said, I think it's enough talking from my side, and let's dive deeper into some features that has also been released right now. So Erika, do you want to enlighten the world about the next feature?
Yes, please. Thank you. I'll be talking a bit about the self-registration page, which we have updated. As you might already know, one method of distributing a course from Learnifier is by sharing a self-registration link. This can be very useful if you, for example, post marketing ads on your courses on LinkedIn, where you would like the readers to be able to sign up on your course on their own. One of the reasons to why we have updated this is because we wanted to create sort of a landing page for a course instead of just participants registering for a course. So we also wanted to be able to add more information about it so that participants can read more about it before signing up. Last but not least, this is also a great way to add your look and feel with your own branding. You got a sneak peek, but I will also share my screen so that you can see it from the administrator interface as well. Here we go. Previously, you administered the self-registration link under the Participants tab. However, you can now find this page if you open one of your courses and then click on the tab called Catalog. To activate the self-registration link, you need to change the registration link status from disabled to enabled. If you copy this link, you will share the course with others. So then everyone with access to the course will be able to register for this particular course. In the second box, you can add details to this landing page, such as a title, a description, but also a background image, or if you would rather prefer having a background color. The setting for the participant limit has also been moved from the Participants tab to the Settings tab. And below you will find a setting here, which is called Participation Limit. So here you can set how many participants who should be able to register via the self-registration link. I believe, correct me now if I'm wrong, dear colleagues, but I believe that this will be released during the day. So I'm not entirely sure if it's already there, but yeah, just bear in mind that it will be released during the day. And that was all from me regarding the self-registration page. And I'm going to hand over to you, Magnus.
Thank you, Erika. And I can confirm that we will enable self-registration for all of you later today. Some of you already have it. I will talk a bit about two major updates that we have done on our assignment function in Learnifier. Let's have a look at the old assignment. Now it might be a bit confusing. I have a screenshot of Learnifier in Learnifier here. We have the old assignment here. There are actually two assignments in this picture, and it was very simple. The end user could select a couple of files and upload them, write a comment per file. And once that was done, it was finished, and the administrator could then look at the images, and you could actually do nothing else with it. We did some changes. We did some changes to the old assignment component. It sort of functions in the way it did before, but it looks a little bit better, and we added a few things. But we also added a completely new type of assignment that has manual evaluation. So let's have a look at an assignment which does not have evaluation. It looks a little bit better than before. The end user clicks select files, select an image or multiple if you want to. You get a little dialogue here, uploading, and then you can type a comment. Is this funny? Once you've done that, it is completed. You can now look at the details as an end user, and you can download your own file if you want to, if you forgot what you uploaded. If we look at things from the administrator side, we have an assignments tab in the administrator interface. It looks pretty much like before, just a little bit better. And this is the assignment that we're working on right now. We have 4 people in the course. 1 has not started and 3 are completed. So if I fold it out, you can see that this is me, Magnus at the end here. And the administrator can see the image, can download it. And can also delete them and see the comment and delete the comment. And the deleting, I guess that's more if it's inappropriate content, I suppose. All right, the new type of assignment we have looks a little bit the same. There are some instructions that this will be graded or passed or failed from the administrator, but it works like before. Select files. You can of course select anything, not just images that we usually use for demonstration, but let's use an Excel sheet here. My best attempt. And the everything gets completed here, but you can see that it's handed in status right now. So if we move over to the administrator side, we need to reload the page to get the latest updates. And this second one is the assignment we're working on now. Let me find me here and see that there is 1 file uploaded. Just like before, I can delete, download, can delete the comment, but we also have an evaluate button. You can evaluate either 1 person, or if you're lazy, you can select everyone or just a few people and evaluate them at the same time. But let's evaluate just me here. The administrator can now select the status for it, not started for review, re-evaluate if you want more information, not passed if you failed, or passed if everything is okay. So let's do a re-evaluate here. And I can type a comment here. If we move back to the student side, you can see that the status now changed to re-evaluating. And if you do show assignment, sorry, here is the comment from the instructor, add the image and you're fine. So let's do that. So now we're all in handed in status again. And if we one more time move over to the administrator side, you can see that there are now 2 images here, and let's evaluate and give him a pass this time. And that marks everything as completed for the students. We can have a quick look how it looks. Passed, congratulations, you passed the assignment, completed this task. And you can also see the comment here. Still download the images, of course, or the files, I mean. There are a few more things you can do from this administrative interface. You can send email to people in the course, and you can also delete assignments. So I can mark mine and you once here, for instance, and click delete, and that deletes all trace of an assignment. And they can start all over again if they want, if you want to do that. All right, that was everything from my side. I'm now over to Niklas, who will show you something even more exciting than this assignment.
Thank you, Magnus. I'm starting to share my screen here. And yes, I'm going to talk about the new component post on wall that has been added to Learnifier today. And so, yes, what is post on wall? It's a new component that has been added through the course builder, and it gives the possibility to upload and share content between participants in a course. So let's head over to the course builder and start editing a course and see how that is done. I have prepared an empty activity here. And as you can see here in the menu, there's a new post on wall button to click on to add the component. We add a demo title for the post on wall and some instruction. Like that. And this component will be completed, will be marked as completed when the user has uploaded a file. So I'll save this and publish. And we can step over to the learner side and update this course. And we now see that it's an empty post on wall component added to this activity. In this course, there are 6 participants. It's me and 5 others. And as it is a new, fresh component, nothing has been uploaded. And you see similarities to what Magnus just demoed in assignments. It's done in the same way, just selecting some items here and uploading them through this dialog. And in the same way, the files are seen here. From my perspective, what I have been uploaded, I can delete them or download them for some reason. And as you can see, as it is a new course, no other has been uploaded things. So I have prepared one other activity where there are some content uploaded. Yes, and so now we can see the other participants in this course. They have been uploaded some content. I can view them by clicking on this icon here. And I can download by clicking here, gets downloaded. And we also have a preview functionality built in for the images. And right now you can also preview audio files. Maybe we'll add support for more media types in the future. We can try that for my second user here, where I have been uploaded. So here you can see different media types shared. And we can take a look at Pavel's images. Some nice animals uploaded. And I also think Jerker has been uploaded some images here from the co-working space. Yes, and that's basically the functionality here. And in the same way, we can step over to the admin side and check in at the assignments. And in the same way, we can see the post on wall component here. And it's shown pretty much in the same way as in assignments, as Magnus showed. We can see the different medias uploaded here and we can delete them if we want to for some reason. And we can delete this assignment and the user has to start all over again. Yes, I think that's all I'm going to say about this. So I'll stop sharing here and let's get over to Boris, who will show some other new things.
Yes, thank you. I will talk briefly about completion. It's nothing new. We have always had completion. It's an important part of the learning process, so the learners know what has been done and what's next. But with this redesign, we have dug even deeper to this functionality and made it both easier for learners to see their status and given more tools for course creators to steer the focus and kind of a hierarchy of what needs to be done and what's optional. So on the next slide, I will go through some types of completion. It depends both on the settings on activity level or on the type of content that is uploaded in the activity. And now I will go through all of them. So some of them they may be familiar to you and some of them are new. So on the mandatory activity, this is the bread and butter of every course there, where all the tasks or components needs to be completed in order to for the whole activity to be completed. And now in the upper right corner, now it's a counter of the active components that need some kind of interaction. So it's this movie and video clip or this quiz. The text and images, they are not counted in because they can't be measured. They are completed automatically. So we have two things. I haven't completed anything yet. And I know that I need to complete two things here in order to this for this activity to be completed. So I watched the movie and it's on the component level on the task is tagged as completed. So now we just have one left, and when I do this quiz, it's also tagged as completed, and the whole activity is now done. I can still redo the quiz if it was funny or I want to make sure that I got everything. But even if I fail, this task is still completed, so it remembers that I'm done with this. So this is still the same as it now, but it's more detailed, and you can see exactly what has been done and what's still missing. The next type is autocomplete. This is also something that is we have right now, but just to make clear that if you don't have any components or tasks that demand any action, like images or text, the whole activity will be completed at the moment when the learner opens it. So no matter how many images or how long text is, the activity is completed directly. So it's like nothing wrong. We just have to imagine that the learners will do what they're supposed to and they learn all the text. On the next type, it's an optional activity, and it's really, really clear to make it optional that it's actually states activity is optional, and this striped background is even to make it more distinct that this is in-depth material or extra practices or something that it's really good if you do, but it will not affect the overall status of the course. So even if I'm on 53% completed and I do this activity, it will still say 53. And even and all of the tasks or components in this activity are also optional. So an optional activity has only optional tasks. And on the next one, this is the new addition to the completion tools. So now I can go into a mandatory activity and select which one of those, now I only have two, is optional and which one is mandatory. When it says optional, it's optional. And as you saw in the last example, I had two activities counted right here. So the optional are not included in this counter. So in order to complete this activity, I only need to watch this video clip, and I don't have to make the quiz, and the activity will be completed. Next one. And the last one is set by the learner. So it doesn't matter how many tasks there are, and if I have done them or not. When I, as a learner, feel that now I'm done with this activity, I will just click on the mark completed on the next image. If I click it, so it's tagged as completed, and I can also go back if I want to. But everything on this activity page will be completed automatically. And sorry. Yes, message from Magnus that the change was released yesterday evening. Thank you, Magnus. And that's it. That there are lots of details, but we will come back to them later in later tutorials, or if you have any questions, you can contact us. Thank you very much. Back to Matthias. You are muted, Matthias.
As Boris said, yeah, we will follow up with more information regarding these updates the following days. So that'll be interesting. So I thought I would share a little bit of what's ahead in the coming pulse, a few of the highlights. Just cover that. So one of the things that we will start working on is an integration with a platform called Teamtailor, which is a recruitment platform. So that is something that is will be included in our next pulse to make it easier to then get that process more smooth as it's being used together in a recruiting process where you can have someone be hired and then automatically be assigned to, for example, a pre-boarding course. So it's automating that process. That is the goal of this integration. The next one is about 1 year ago, we released the certificates functionality, meaning that a lot of certificates are now in a couple of months pending to be renewed, because most certificates run for 1 year. So what we will focus on here is improving both notifications and information regarding that the certificate needs to be reviewed, but also improve the support for what happens. So for example, if I've taken a course, I've been certified, I now need to be recertified, automating that process. So I'm automatically invited to a new course that I can then complete again to receive a renewed certificates. So that's something that we will be working on. We will also start translating the mobile apps, both the Android app and the iOS app. As you know, we have multiple languages, plus 20 languages in the web interface. Those will now also be implemented in the mobile apps. We will also add additional automations, and primarily more automation that will make it possible to automatically enroll a learner to a new course once they've completed the previous one. So it might be that I take introduction to leadership, for example, and once I've completed that, it might be that I want to be automatically enrolled into tough conversations or motivation 101 or whatever it might be. So automating that process, and obviously then you can then automate the chain of different courses and content that is delivered to the learner. So trying to get away from some manual work there that happens today. And this is probably the fussiest one. We are, and I think we talked briefly about this one in our last presentation as well, that we're working on a design update. You will potentially start seeing minor updates this pulse, but most primarily in the coming pulse after that. So it's both lifting some of the technology platform, but it's also making a number of design changes. And the ambition here is both to make sure that we make it easier to use, we make it look nicer, so your brand comes through in a better way. But it's also really making sure that we keep up with the latest technology and stay on top of that. So there's a number of reasons for that. So potentially we'll see some updates during this pulse. As always, we will work on a number of other things as well. We will communicate those as we go through the pulse. And obviously you get a full update on our next pulse event at the end of late in November. There's two other things also that I wanted to talk about and briefly mention for this pulse, which are not as much product related. So I'm glad to say that we have a new colleague on board starting actually yesterday. So we will now be able to help you, because this is the thing, our mission is still the same. Our ambition is to give you, to empower you to share knowledge effectively. So that has been our mission, that is still our mission, making it easier in the product, making new features and functionality that makes it easier, making automations, etc. But we know that both from an experience perspective and a resource capacity perspective, sometimes you need help. And we know that a few of you and a number of you need that help and you want it from us. So what we'll now start offering is help with learning design, which could be anything from how you structure courses, how you should structure your organization, things like that. And all the way through, we can then also help guiding you through the production process. This is something that if you're interested in, please reach out to your customer success manager and we can give you more details on how we can provide these services to you. But they are available as of now. Another thing that we've been talking about and that we're planning for is Learnifier Studios. Some of you might know we're now a fully remote company, but we will during 2022 launch something that we're calling Learnifier Studios. And the ambition with this is that, one, we ourselves, to be honest, internally need this studio capacity. But the hope is that potentially also there is a need from customers, because that's what we heard from you really, for not if you don't have your own studio. So this is also part of the idea, so opening up this space to you as customers, but also to partners that we're working with. So that is something that is being planned for 2022. Obviously, it's been a bit pushed for COVID reasons, but now we are focusing on getting that in place. So excited about those two updates, and we will follow up and also regarding the studios, see what your interest is in this type of offering and if it's something that you would use. Might potentially even send out a little Mentimeter here following the session. So I think with that, I'll hand it back to you, Rebecca, to wrap things up. We're almost at 2:15, so back to you.
Thank you very much, Matthias, and thank you to all the speakers here today. And also thank you to all of you who has been listening. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we will be sending out this recording as well as the presentation slides. And we will also be sending out some more detailed information, of course, and feel free to also reach out to our customer success team. So thank you very much for this morning. And we say, as we always do, may the learning be with you. Thank you.